Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at a mystery in The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. The mystery of the Axeman. Who is the Axeman? He's an unseen character in the game that has a ton of references to him. From what it sounds like, he was some sort of serial killer in New Orleans, possibly from before the apocalypse. Now, before I go over the references to this character, I want to let you know that this video will contain spoilers for The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. So with all that said, now we can begin. The first thing I want to talk about is his weapon, the esteemed mortal. It's a pretty unique looking weapon that definitely has the potential to become iconic like some of the other weapons in the franchise. Anyway, if you look at your crafting table, one of the notes says, "The Axeman loved jazz, maybe a band teacher?" So with that clue, let's go to the band class in the high school in Rampart. The band room is located here, and inside the room you will come across another note. This one says, "In the rubble of Old Town." The note also has a safe combination, 5370. Once you have the combination, go to Old Town and check out the partly destroyed building. On the second floor of the house, you will see a door. When you open it, you will see a safe. But this safe has something carved into it. It says, "The Axeman cometh." This possibly means the Axeman lived here, or at the very least came here during the apocalypse to leave this behind. Now that you have the recipe, you can head back to your base and craft a weapon. Well, as long as you have the materials for it. But before we try out the weapon, I want to check out some other things. When you go to buy water, your objective is to get into a warehouse. Well, there is something interesting here. On a table you will find the worn, esteemed mortal. As we can see, this axe's hilt is pretty low, so it's possible this was the weapon used by the Axeman himself. Also, the description for the weapon says, "I have been, am, and will be the worst spirit that ever existed, either in fact or realm of fancy." It says that it's quoted from Hell on March 13th, 1919. Also, just so you know, the esteemed mortal you can craft at your base has the exact same description. My question is, why is the weapon here? Did the Axeman work here? Did he work at school? Did he work at boat? Also, a quick thing I just want to add here in the middle of the video is, in the opening you see this reclaimed member and he is using an esteemed mortal. Could this be the Axeman? Who knows? Anyway, let's move on to another reference to the Axeman. Pretty late into the game, your character meets Jean-Baptiste in Bastion. He's the leader of a group called the Reclaimed, and he also mentions the Axeman.
I'm curious about the Reclaimed.
Yes?
What's with the gory rituals?
First one was a man I knew well in my brief tenure as a tower grunt. I'd even called him a friend. Trip was his name. Snuck up on me in the middle of sleep. Tried to slit my throat. Still carry the scar. Well, long story short, Trip was no match for me. I maimed him. Something awful, really. And I dragged his body about a mile all the way to the southern bump, which at the time was the most highly trafficked exit from the tower. I found an old oak, hung him upside down from it so his lifeblood would spill rapidly into the soil, and upon his chest I pinned a note that read, "Keep 'em coming." And just like that, I became the most feared boogeyman Nola has seen since the Axeman. Once I had fear on my side, the rest just blossomed naturally. Those with nowhere else to go wanted what I had, so they listened, and they learned. I empowered them. That's all people want. A sense that their lives still have some meaning.
So yeah, the Axeman has quite the reputation. There might be some references I'm forgetting to mention, but that's at least some of them. I do have a couple more things to show though. The regular axe in the game has an interesting detail. On the side of it there are a few carvings in it. Maybe it was someone counting how many walkers they killed with it. As for the description of the axe, it doesn't mention the axeman, but does have a funny quote. Don't yell fire in a crowd of walkers, don't yell anything for that matter. If anything, that is pretty sound advice. I guess the only thing left to do is try out the weapon. Anyway, so at the crafting station, the page for this weapon says, jazz it up or you will get the axe. On a side note, I want to say that the detail on the weapon is fantastic, and the saw saying Kiefer saw could be another clue, but I looked around the areas with warehouses and I didn't see one with the name Kiefer. Maybe Kiefer Saw Company was where the Axeman actually worked. Anyway, I find the mystery of the Axeman really interesting, and I hope Skydance could maybe in the future do a DLC about the Axeman and answer some questions like who was he, and is he even still alive? Also, on another side note, have you ever noticed how a lot of the posters have axes on them? Anyway, I hope all of you enjoyed this video. I think it's cool that Skydance added so many little details to this game that really fleshes out the world. Skydance, thank you for making such an awesome game, and everyone watching, thank you for checking out the video. There are still plenty of things to talk about when it comes to this game, like its story, characters and setting, and even ideas for DLCs, more Easter eggs to add, and sequels. But for now, I just wanted to talk about an interesting mystery in the game. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and peace out.